So, the 5th anniversary of Arknights is upon us, and with it came and went the stream, so I'm going to summarize everything that happened in the stream for you. First of all, we have a whopping 5 new operators and a new form for Amiya. Here's everything we know about them so far. We have a new 1-star character that's going to be a ritualist supporter, and Fang Alter, yes, she is apparently alive, but we don't know anything about either of their kits yet. First of all, we have the standard 6-star of the banner, the long-awaited Logos, and he is a core caster. His talent 1 makes him have a chance to attack an additional enemy every time he attacks, slowing them at the same time. Talent 2 makes any enemy he attacks have reduced resistance and makes them take more arts damage. His S1 increases his attack and range, and he has an execute mechanic where any enemy below a certain HP threshold will instantly die. Enemies killed by this will deal damage to a random enemy based on the dead enemy's HP. Did I mention this was infinite duration? This is just skill 1. Skill 2 increases his personal arts resistance, locks onto a single target, and deals ramping damage to them, also gradually slowing down their movement speed. When he is interrupted or the enemy dies, he locks onto a new target and the ramping effect resets. His skill 3 increases his attack and attack range, and now he targets multiple enemies, each projectile having a chance to activate his first talent. He also slows down enemy projectile speed in his range? Huh? And if the enemy projectiles are still in his range after his skill ends, they just get deleted. I should also mention that he comes out with his module Delta, which lets him deal elemental damage, it seems. The limited character in the banner is W Alter. Her name is Wizadel. She's a flinger sniper. Her talent 1 makes her deal an increased amount of damage to her main enemy and inflicts an after image on them. When the after image is caught in her shockwave attack, it has a chance to explode, dealing an extra hit and stunning enemies. Very cool. Her talent 2 deploys a Spirit Shadow in her range. When she gets deployed, this Spirit Shadow periodically deals arts damage to enemies, slowing them and attaching an after image. Her skill 1 is a single instance attack, where she hits harder and her shockwave hits one more time, and has a bigger radius. Her skill 2 is pretty generic, just increasing her attack and making her hit multiple enemies, but it can be overcharged to make her attack continuous, hitting random enemies. This can be deactivated. Her skill 3 is the pinnacle of balance. She summons 2 more Spirit Shadows in her range and massively increases her attack, massively increases her attack interval, and massively increases her splash radius. I mean, come on, she's hitting Patriot's entire squad here! And guarantees her talent 1 activation. This skill is also ammo based and can be deactivated anytime. What the fuck is this skill? Next is a spoiler, but you clicked on this video so you know what you're getting yourself into. Theresa, or Civilite Eterna, is the welfare 6-star. She's a bard supporter. Her talent 1 makes her have 3 thingies float around her, and when these thingies hit allies, they disappear and they get increased effectiveness from Eterna's bard trait. This of course reappears after a certain duration. Her talent 2 makes allies take less damage from sarcasm. Lamau. Her skill 1 is infinite duration, reduces her talent 1 respawn time, and increases her trait effect. Her skill 2 increases the amount of thingies she has from her talent, allies in her range get attack inspiration effect, and the thingies no longer hit allies, and instead hit enemies, dealing true damage and binding them. Her skill 3 expands her range, increases her trait effect, and the thingies don't disappear when hitting allies anymore. All allies in range get max HP inspiration, interesting, and periodically redistributes all ally HP percentages in her range. Lastly, we have Amiya, who has a new form. She is now an incantation medic. Her talent 1 makes all allies have increased max HP, and when her skill is active, all allies recover a certain amount of HP per second. Her skill 1 increases their attack speed, and all allies in range heal for a certain amount of Amiya's attack. Her S2 makes her deal a certain amount of damage to all enemies in her range, which reduces their attack speed and movement speed. For every enemy hit by this attack, she increases her own attack. After that, she now deals true damage and hits 2 enemies. This skill seems really strong, but it can only be activated once per map, like Guard Mia's S2. So, with all the operators done, what else was in the stream? Oh boy, let me tell you something. Bloodline of combat skins for Savage, Thorns, and live 2D Enos, and of course, the 24-op Mumu skin. Also, a new skin line focusing on alternate realities, I think, with Blue Poison and Scalter being the reps here. We also finally get Lord Guard modules after so long. There is a new game mode. It seems like it is a cooperative game mode where you beat stages together with a buddy. This same game mode also has a football mode, Lamau. Speaking of game modes, we also get to see a sneak peek of Integrated Strategies 5. It seems like it will be themed after Casdell. We get to see so many amazing animation. A song by Mili, which also has been released for Arknights global YouTube. Link is in the description. And so many collabs! Cafe collab with some Nami art, Sanrio collab, and I don't even know what this is, but there's a collab with it and it seems cool. And the Dungeon Meshi collab, what the